Viewers, good evening. Thank you for joining us on India Upfront. Today, the Waqf Bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha, a pivotal and foundational step towards achieving parity in the governance of religious affairs. Parity is the key word here. The bill proposes more stringent regulations and monitoring mechanisms that could curb corruption and ensure efficient operation of the Waqf boards. On the floor of the House, Minority Affairs Minister thundered that the NDA had to bring these amendments because UPA government could not do it. He asserted many leaders in the opposition have privately told me that the state Waqf boards had turned into a mafia, a land grab mafia. His words, not mine. The opposition, however, sees it as an attempt to consolidate power within the government, an attempt to diminish the autonomy of the Waqf boards, and an attempt to interfere with the functioning of the mosques. However, none of those arguments have been substantiated with facts, with opposition benches choosing to rely instead on rhetoric and fear-mongering, using as an armor what they deem an impregnable shield, religion and persecution.
बांटने का काम कर रहे हैं, जोड़ने का काम नहीं कर रहे हैं। आप दुश्मन हैं मुसलमानों के, उसका सबूत ये बिल है।
ये बिल जो इंट्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, ये अध्यक्ष महोदय बहुत सोची समझी राजनीति के तहत हो रहा है। वक्फ बोर्ड में गैर मुस्लिम को शामिल करने का औचित्य क्या बनता है?
कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि जनता इन हुकूक के लिए, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को बचाने के लिए दोबारा सड़कों पर आ जाएगी।
आप वक्फ बोर्ड की प्रॉपर्टियों को खुर्द-बुर्द कराने की जो साजिश लोग कर रहे हैं, उन साजिशों को बल देने का काम कर रहे हैं।
There was an attempt in the country that to make the country as a Hindu Rashtra, which has been rejected by the people of this country.
कहाँ से ये मुसलमान विरोधी है? कौन सा इसका कानून मुसलमान विरोधी बताता है?
इस बिल का समर्थन कीजिए, करोड़ों लोगों का दुआ मिलेगा।
Let's try and put this entire debate into context before we open this up. What is the attack from the opposition? The opposition has said that the centre is bringing in changes for communal reasons. Now, the question to ask the opposition, to the doubters, is how will Hindus benefit from the amendments, the proposed amendments in the Waqf Act? The next attack by the opposition is that the government is interfering with Muslim institutions. Viewers, the question is, should misuse of authority go unchecked? Because it has gone unchecked for so long. The next attack by the opposition on the Modi government is that this is a bill to snatch away land belonging to mosques. The question that comes to mind is law that makes land deals transparent. How's that a bid to snatch land? The next attack by the doubters, the opposition, is that the bill is specialized for Maharashtra, Haryana election. They are saying that the timing is suspect. Just happens to come into parliament ahead of impending elections in these states. Now the question is, did the Congress government bring earlier amendments, at least 3 in number, due to polls? Was that driving them then? The attack is that the unilateral decision will be made. Muslims have not been consulted. Now, there have been multiple meetings, wider consultation that the government says with stakeholders. And so this question, why ignore the exhaustive consultation data? The DMK has been in particular saying that the bill targets a particular religious group. Isn't it a bit rich coming from the DMK? Because the TN government, the Tamil Nadu government, excuse me, the state government not only controls Hindu temples, but also religious endowments. They will have to answer on that. The next attack, viewer, is that the centre is taking excessive interest in religious matters. The question to ask is, but bill is based on report of the Congress-constituted Sachar panel that they swear by, that they cite at the drop of a hat. Why? And the other question is, the bigger question is, more fundamental question is, why did the UPA government, Congress and other stakeholders over the years not follow the recommendation of the Sachar panel? So these are the questions that set up the debate. Let's open this up. Syed Zafar Islam, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Dr. Ranganathan needs no introduction. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Mr. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Muhammad Adil Hassan, spokesperson of the AIMIM. Vivek Silas is the national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Lokesh Jindal completes this panel, political analyst. Dr. Ranganathan, we've had many discussions on this. What is essentially a move to reform the Waqf Act has been blocked. And what is the ruse, excuse, pretext, religion that you are going after Muslims? Stop.
Easy to my fellow panelists. I have a couple of things to say. It's a very important discussion. I'm glad we are having it. Look, only three things are certain in an Indian's life. Let's get this straight. Death, taxes, and that knowingly or unknowingly, he ends up walking every day on Waqf land. 77% of Delhi is supposed to be on Waqf land. Waqf Act is a parallel government being run. It has its own legislature in the form of board. It has its own executive in the form of a surveyor. And it has its own judiciary in the form of a tribunal. In fact, Waqf, I would say, is one of the 8 reasons why Hindus, forget about Muslims, Hindus are 8th-class citizens in their own country. Now, I want to say this is very important. Yes, it is good of the government to bring in amendments, but if India is to be saved from becoming an Islamic republic, then hear this. Amendments are not enough. This entire act has to be abrogated, because I ask you, is there a similar act for documenting, selling, purchasing properties that are related to Hindus or Christians or Sikhs or any other denomination? Why have a separate clause or an act exclusively for a particular community? That itself is discrimination, not only there and then, it is also discrimination for the other communities. Now I tell you, there have been some amendments, they are good, but they don't go far enough because they don't touch something that needs to be touched, and they are draconian clauses of the Waqf. So, for example, mandatory registration of Waqf property now is with district collector office. Okay, that's good. But that doesn't stop the discrimination happening against Hindus. Number 2, government properties identified as Waqf properties before or after the Act's amendment will now be considered, not be considered Waqf property. That is good. But it also then entails a long legal process that the state has to fight. Number 3, this is important because it takes care of the draconian Section 40. Now, the district collector will decide whether a property is Waqf or on government land. The bill also removes provisions allowing for a property to be considered Waqf based on oral declaration. Good. But that was blatant discrimination. But, for example, Section 28 has not been amended as far as I am concerned. It gives power to order a collector. Section 8 says the state has to pay for the Waqf survey. Pranesh, this is in direct violation of Article 27 of our Constitution that says no person shall be compelled to pay any taxes, the proceeds of which are specifically appropriated in payment of expenses for the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious denomination. Section 107 says Act 36 of 1963 Statute of Limitation will not apply. Statute of Limitation doesn't apply for recovery of Waqf property. Section 101 says the survey commissioner, members of the board, every officer, every auditor of the board, and every other person appointed to discharge any duties imposed on him by this act shall be deemed to be public servant, as is understood by the Indian Penal Code. So now Maulvis will be constituted as public servants, and you know what happens when you touch literally or figuratively any public servant. These are clauses that are absolutely draconian. Forget about being helpful for Muslims. They are antagonistic and discriminated against other religions and people of other communities. Waqf Act, I'm sorry, has to go.
Mr. Saravanan, you're erudite, sir. Every time we have an informed debate.
The BJP.
No, Mr. Saravanan, I'll come to you, sir. But Dr. Ranganathan has asked several questions of the BJP. He believes, while the opposition is saying that this bill is anti-Muslim, Dr. Ranganathan is saying that this is not strong enough. You have to have a stronger reform. And why has this taken so long? So I want to quickly bring in Mr. Zafar Islam, and then I'm coming to you, sir. Mr. Zafar Islam, what would you tell Dr. Ranganathan, who you just heard?
See, I do not want to comment on Dr. Ranganathan because he is making a statement on the bill which has been introduced in the parliament. So I will speak as a party spokesperson. I will only speak about the bill which has been introduced and what is the intent behind it. As he rightly, some of the observation he has made that yes, it is being run in a manner that where there is no transparency. I think it should be managed in a manner that the beneficiary is defined in this, because it is not that the state government, or for that matter, government has given this piece of land or the property to the Waqf board. It is the Muslim community, and the member of the Muslim community has donated to the Muslim, for the welfare of the Muslim community. So no one can claim that it has come from X or Y or Z. It is the property of the Muslim community which is being donated by a Muslim for the welfare of the Muslim community, and the beneficiary should only be the Muslim member of the Muslim community. Like, for instance, you create a foundation, and the foundation is only defined the objective, based on that objective it works. It doesn't, the government doesn't own this foundation, but within the framework of this entire setup, the law of the land is more important. That is why this legislation has been, or the bill has been introduced for the amendment. What is important for us, for all of us to understand, that there are only few people, maybe 200, 300, 400 people actually, like a mafia, managing the Waqf properties, which is the strongest objection of the government, because the objective of the Waqf is not to be managed and the beneficiary should be a handful of people, but the ordinary Muslim, the weaker section within the Muslim community should be, because that is the purpose. Like if I donate my property to the Waqf, it doesn't belong to the government, it doesn't belong to anyone else. It belongs to the Waqf. It is like a foundation. It's a collective foundation of the Muslim community, where the benefit should go to only the Muslim community, member of the Muslim community, those Muslim members who are actually the needy ones.
Okay,
Here
but among other criticisms, Syed Zafar Islam, among other criticisms, sir, and we will hear from the members of the opposition. 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Among other criticism, one is that why are non-Muslims part of the panel? But before you answer that, I want to bring in some of the others. Mr. Saravanan, you go first.
Yes. Yeah. See, that is the fundamental question. Our leader in the parliament, Madam Kanimozhi, asked this question. Will there be a Muslim or a Christian in a Hindu board? Is it possible? This is the sentiment that has been expressed among everybody. And where does the union government have the legislative competence to enact a law which is about land or about religious endowments? They don't have the legislative competence. It is only the state governments which have the power to manage the lands. And it is a direct interference in the federal structure of our constitution. The BJP, ever since it has come to power, has always done this, trying to usurp the powers of the state government in the garb of, I am trying to do this, I am trying to do that. That apart, another important feature is that they say that the collector will decide all these things. But who is the collector to decide a land dispute? It has to ultimately be decided by a court. That is why any civil dispute, any land dispute, the executive authorities cannot decide. Only a tribunal or only a quasi judicial thing can decide on that. So this is also violative of whatever we have been following so long. And the most important aspect of this Waqf thing is that the entire thing, we know all the Waqf is coming from donations from the believers. And how can the government try to say, no, we will govern this? It is not possible.
Can I ask you, sir? Can I ask you something? Mr. Saravanan, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute.
In the Tamil Nadu,
the answer one question before
I have anticipated. I have anticipated what you are going to ask me. Pranesh, I have anticipated what you are asking.
Tell me, sir, tell me.
You are saying, oh, the state of Tamil Nadu is controlling. Yes, controlling the Hindu religious and charitable endowments. How is it allowed? Why are you allowing this? This has been answered several times.
Yeah, now that you've anticipated the question, please answer it also.
Yes. I will answer that. Allow me to answer. Yeah. See, when it comes to the Hindu temples, all of them were built by the kings from the taxes collected by the people. It belongs to the people. And when we got independence, everything got transferred to the state. This is the fundamental difference between the Hindu temples and others. So let us not compare these two and break our brains. Let us not do that.
That is not an explanation,
Mr.
Mr. Saravanan.
India is a secular country.
Someone who knows a thing or two about this, Dr. Ranganathan, he has his hand up. He has something to tell you. Tushar, I am coming to you. Adil bhai, मैं आ रहा हूँ आपके पास.
Just three. I'm glad we're having this wonderful erudite discussion. I have 3 points to make. Number one, to slightly correct Mr. Saravanan, There indeed are Hindu temple boards that have non-Hindus. The famous example being a Muslim on Tarkeshwar board. There are on Tirupati board as well. So it is wrong to suggest that non-Hindus are not part of Hindu temple boards, number one. Number two, nobody on this earth, least of all I, am objecting to a Muslim donating to a waqf, his or her property. It's a free country. There should be a waqf board. But why should there be a waqf act? I don't understand that. Everything that this country happens in this country, the give and take, donation of property or land is subject to Indian law. Do you mean to say that if Waqf Act wasn't there, the sale, purchase, donation of property will no longer be applicable for Muslims? That's rubbish. You are having this Waqf Act specifically as a piece of legislative appeasement to Muslims. And that is why it must go. Because if this Waqf Act wasn't there, the sale, deed, purchase of property donation of Muslims by Muslims of Waqf Board to Waqf Board will still carry on.
Okay. आदिल भाई, मैं आपसे एक सीधा सवाल पूछ रहा हूं. आपने भी डिबेट फॉलो किया होगा पार्लियामेंट में. जो बहुत सारे ऑब्जेक्शंस हैं उसमें लोग ये भी कह रहे हैं कि मक्का का एग्जाम्पल दे दिया है कि वहां पे काबा में तो ऐसा नहीं होता है. कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं, ओवैसी साहब ने कहा कि ये मुसलमानों पे सीधा सीधा आप उनको दबाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. कुछ ने बोला कि हम तो सड़क पे आ जाएंगे अगर ये चला तो. ये हो क्या रहा है? आप बताइए हमारे दर्शकों को, ये जो रिफॉर्म है इसमें एंटी मुस्लिम क्या है?
बड़े भाई, सबसे पहली बात है, वक्फ की जितनी आज हिंदुस्तान में बहुत बड़ी तादाद में जायदाद इंक्रोच है. अकबर ओवैसी साहब पर हमला हुआ था क्योंकि वक्फ के मुद्दे उठाए थे, उन पर हमला हुआ. उन्होंने एसआईटी का डिमांड किया था. हम भी एसआईटी की डिमांड करते हैं. बैरिस्टर साहब ने बोला जो मेरा वक्फ का इंक्रोचमेंट है उसको खत्म कीजिए. हज कमेटी में भ्रष्टाचार है, सीओ भ्रष्टाचारी, उस पर आप कुछ नहीं कहते हैं मोदी सरकार. प्री मैट्रिक पोस्ट मैट्रिक जो है, प्री मैट्रिक आप 1 क्लास से शुरू नहीं करते हैं, उस पर मोदी सरकार कुछ नहीं करती है. गौतम बोध गया में एक बोध गया में टेम्पल है जो गौतम बुद्ध लॉर्ड बुद्धा का है, उसमें कोई मुसलमान उस कमेटी में नहीं रह सकता. ये नियम है. हर धर्मों का एक तरीका है जो अपने से चलाए. अगर वक्फ बोर्ड में भ्रष्टाचार है तो वो वक्फ सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सिटिंग जज से आप जांच कराइए ना. और वक्फ बोर्ड का सीईओ डायरेक्ट सरकार के अधीनस्थ होता है. उसके चेयरमैन का इलेक्शन होता है. वो ऑटोनोमस बॉडी है. उनके स्टाफ को हर स्टेट सरकार तनख्वाह देती है. कोई वो यतीम नहीं है. और ये पीएम केयर नहीं है जो बिना एक्ट के तहत चलेगा या बिना आरटीआई के तहत आएगा. सब खुली किताब है. जो आपने लैंड रजिस्ट्रेशन ज्यादा देखा उसकी एक वजह है, पहले रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं होता था क्योंकि आजकल रियल एस्टेट की एक तादाद बढ़ गई है, कब्जा करने की तादाद बढ़ गई है, इसलिए लोग ट्रांसपेरेंसी चाहते हैं. और
आदिल भाई, मैं आपसे एक छोटा सा सवाल पूछता हूं, आपकी इजाजत से पूछना चाहता हूं. ऐसा कोई बॉडी है, आपने बहुत एग्जांपल दिया, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या कोई ऐसा व्यक्ति है जिसके पास ये पावर हो कि उसकी नजर जहां गई उसको जो पसंद आ गया वो उसी का हो गया? आप बता दीजिए.
मेरे बड़े भाई, वक्फ बोर्ड में ये जो आप बोल रहे हैं ये टोटल बोगस, ये कोई सच्चाई नहीं. माय फादर,
मैं बोल रहा हूं. अच्छा, मैं तो आपको रिसेंट एग्जांपल दे देता हूं. मध्य प्रदेश हाई कोर्ट के जज ने कहा है कि भाई ताजमहल ले लोगे, लाल किला ले लोगे, कुछ और उन्होंने 2 ही एग्जांपल दिया. बोला पूरा इंडिया पे कब्जा कर लोगे, बोलोगे वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी है ये.
सुनिए, आप वक्फ की लाचारी देखिए कि सबसे ज्यादा जमीन की बात टीवी पर हो रही है, दुनिया में हो रही है, लेकिन उससे इनकम सिर्फ 200 करोड़ रुपया हो रहा है. मोदी सरकार को अगर मुसलमानों से मोहब्बत है, अगर तो इंक्रोचमेंट हटा दे, मेरी जो प्रॉपर्टीज वक्फ की है उसकी जो रेवेन्यू है वो सही से दे दे. आप माइनॉरिटी बजट देते नहीं, आप जामिया और अलीगढ़ को
तो इसमें जामिया अलीगढ़ आ गया. देखिए आदिल भाई, जब जवाब नहीं होता तो यही होता. आपने बोला ओवैसी पे अटैक हो गया क्योंकि उन्होंने वक्फ बोर्ड का मुद्दा उठाया. ये आपको कौन से पुलिस ने कह दिया, कौन से जांच में आ गया? पर तुषार, let's 1 minute, आदिल भाई 1 minute. तुषार, let's talk about hard facts. The opposition has not been able to substantiate why the reforms are anti-Muslim.
Good evening, Pranesh. You know, after the masterclass from Kiran Rijiju, the opposition lost for answers. But since my good friend Mr. Ranganathan is here, I have a good news for him. I was just going through the details of the bill, Pranesh, and Section 40, Section 107, Section 108, Section 108A of the Principal Act have been omitted completely. They are no longer going to be a part of the amendment. So I hope that pleases Mr. Ranganathan as well, because he's made some very important points about how those 3 sections were very, very regressive in the Indian context. Now, coming to the opposition, Pranesh, in the parliament today, when the opposition was answering on Waqf, they were going about Article 25 and Article 26 from the Constitution. On Article 25, they said that we have the freedom to practice and profess our religion. Do the amendments stop that? Absolutely not. On Article 26, especially Owaisi, he said that Muslims must have the right to form and maintain institutions of charitable or educational intent, which is what Mr. Kiran Rijiju also acknowledged. However, coming to Section 40 of the Principal Act, does Article 25 or 26 state that any body can claim a private or a public property as their own? Can the Waqf tomorrow say that the land upon which the Taj Mahal is built is a Waqf property, or on which the Qutub Minar is situated is Waqf property, or in which my home is situated is Waqf property, and that would be consistent with the principles of Article 25 and 26? Absolutely not. And this is what the amendment is all about. Pranesh, for all this time, Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, has been saying, Jitni abadi utna haq. This has been going on for 8-9 months now. So if in the Waqf board's composition, we are asking for more inclusiveness of women, we're asking for more representation, how is that wrong? How is the government wrong on that front? That was the idea of the opposition. Most of the recommendations have been taken from the committees that were formed during the opposition's rule. So where is the opposition's problem? I'll tell you, Pranesh, where is the problem? Their game, their electoral game works on appeasement politics. If this Waqf Act goes through, not only it ensures more transparency, not only it ensures better representation amongst the Muslim community, it takes away the whole appeasement equation out of the politics on which the parties like Congress and SP thrive. Samajwadi, especially in the context of Uttar Pradesh.
No, but you know, people like Adil Hassan and Mr. Owaisi, and there are many who hold a view that, look, don't touch the Waqf board, sort out the mess elsewhere. There are many temple boards that are corrupt. You heard Adil Hassan. Now, before we get into that, let's talk about what the Congress party said today. Lokesh Jindal, KCU Venugopal said that this bill is fundamental attack on Constitution. Really? Sachar committee was formed by the Congress party. The Sachar panel makes recommendations, and the Congress says that this is a fundamental attack on Constitution. This is draconian. You're linking this to polls in Haryana and Jharkhand, Maharashtra?
Yes, certainly. Pranesh, in the TMFI case 2002, while commenting upon Article 30, Clause 1 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court has clearly stated that all minority institutions shall have the freedom to decide the composition of its management without any external control. And secondly, this entire bill, it has recommended to non-Muslim members. Now, this goes entirely against the spirit of a fundamental right, that is Article 30, Clause 1. And secondly, in this bill that has been proposed, the powers and the role of the charity commissioner is given to the collector. Now, the charity commissioner was a judicial officer. He belonged to the judicial cadre, and the collector is an administrative officer. The collector is generally heading the entire revenue department and all the government land. So what we see
but the
is,
collector has magisterial powers. You know, don't peddle half truths, please.
Only with respect to revenue court, the collector enjoys the magisterial power, not with respect to the charity and other forms of sphere. So the very inclusion of collector and doing away with the board. And
so let's do away with collectors because collectors are corrupt. Because C for collector, C for corruption. What is this logic, Lokesh Jindal?
I didn't say this. Please allow me. So the whole idea is there is a potent instrument that has been created whereby the administration can gradually
beating around the bush. The question is, how is this a fundamental attack on Constitution? Which part, which provision, which amendment?
Article 30, Clause 1.
Okay.
I'll answer that, Pranesh.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. Dr. Ranganathan, I'm coming to you after this question.
Because Article 26 gives every religious denomination the freedom to administer the properties, the religion, and follow their practices. And you're directly interfering. Government cannot have any role, especially, and they're also protected by the Constitution. So this is why we are saying it is again. We are again asking. Nobody has answered. Where does the union government have legislative competences? This is the fundamental argument against this amendment. That is why it has been sent to the JPC. They said they'll take the stakeholders. View of the stakeholders.
Okay.
And,
two people have raised their hand to answer the big question you asked.
Hammered it.
Okay. Dr. Ranganathan, you go first.
Pranesh, if as is being said, asserted that the state should have no role in running religious matters or religious affairs, can I please ask, why does the state have to pay for Waqf survey? Why does the state have to declare that all the members of the board should be treated as public servants? Is this not ridiculous? I repeat again, commonsensical thing dictates that the state should have no role in the running of a religious board. So of course, let us have Waqf boards. The point is, why do we have Waqf Act? Is there a Hindu Act? Is there a Muslim Act? But there are Hindu temple boards, there are church boards. So have Muslim boards, have Waqf boards. Their sale, purchase, deed, donation of property will be decided under Indian law. Why do you have to have a separate Waqf Act? That is because under them there are draconian clauses.
Adil Hassan is responding to you.
सर वफ एक्ट ये पीएम केयर्स नहीं है जिसका कोई माय बाप नहीं है। वफ
नहीं, ये जवाब नहीं है आदिल भाई। देखिए ये जवाब नहीं है, घुमाना फिराना बंद कीजिए, जवाब दीजिए कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है। जो आप बोल रहे हैं एंटी मुस्लिम है, ये कैसे जो मुस्लिम समुदाय है उनके हक को छीनता है, वो बता दीजिए।
सर जो हक को छीनता है, जो ट्रिब्यूनल का चेयरमैन जज होता है वो चीफ जस्टिस अपॉइंट करते हैं, वो डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज लेवल के जज होते हैं, कोई आम आदमी नहीं होता है। एक लीगल आइडेंटिटी है उसकी एक पहचान है, वो सीओ सरकार के अधीनस्थ है, उस पर एक्शन।
तो अभी जो प्रोविजंस आ रहे हैं उसमें अमेंडमेंट्स में कौन सा प्रोविजन है जो आपको लग रहा है कि हक छीन रहा है, बता दीजिए।
सुन लीजिए, अब डीएम पहली बात कहीं का भी जिला पदाधिकारी वो डायरेक्ट सीएमओ के अंडर में होता है। आप हर जगह राइट विंग को देख रहे हैं, कोई भी प्रॉपर्टी को, कोई भी मस्जिद को जाके ताजमहल को तेजो महल बोल रहा है, जाकर वहां पर पानी चढ़ा रहा है। तो भाई आप डीएम डायरेक्ट अधीनस्थ है, भाजपा सरकार का चीफ मिनिस्टर के अंडर में रहेगा, डीएम गुलाम रहेगा चीफ मिनिस्टर का, उसके बिना कुछ नहीं करेगा। आप एक जुडिशियल आइडेंटिटी खत्म कर रहे हैं। इस तरीके से आपने अंटिलिया दे दिया मुकेश अंबानी को, आपने
दे दिया, मतलब ये क्या, कहां से कहां चले गए आप, क्या हो गया आपको? आदिल भाई आज आपको लगता है कुछ हो गया, जबरदस्त तैयारी करके आए हैं, जब कुछ नहीं छोड़ेंगे। आपने ओवैसी पे हमला है वो भी बोल दिया, आपको लगा कि देखिए अब इस हफ्ते मौका मिले ना मिले, आज पूरे हफ्ते का बोल देते, सब टॉपिक कवर कर लेते। आदिल भाई ऐसे नहीं होता, प्लीज।
जफर भाई
नहीं जफर भाई जवाब दे रहे, जफर इस्लाम
भाई भाजपा
नो 1 मिनट
के प्रवक्ता है सर, 20 सेकंड। जफर भाई भाजपा के,
लेट मी रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट।
जफर भाई 20 सेकंड। जफर भाई इतने बड़े भाजपा के सीनियर लीडर हैं, उनको बता दें मोतिहारी सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी है, इतना मुसलमानों की चिंता है, वहां पे उर्दू डिपार्टमेंट नहीं है, संस्कृत शुरू हो गया है, यही मोदी सरकार का तोहफा है। 10 साल हो गया यूनिवर्सिटी बने हुए।
ठीक है
जफर भाई,
सैयद जफर इस्लाम, रेस्पॉन्ड टू दैट।
See, first of all, I think some of the observation made by the panelists, I'm not able to see any of the panelists because I'm doing through my iPad and I don't have a TV in front of me. But let me tell you that the intent of the government is very clear. Currently, the way it is being managed, as some of them like Ranganathan has also pointed out, that it is not managed, it is mismanaged. And some of the within the act, some of the guidelines which actually is useless and it should do away, because it's a country, as I said in the beginning, that there is a law of the land, and the law of the land should apply to every board, every foundation, to every organization, and should apply to Waqf board as well. The intent of the government is that not to snatch away from, as some people are leveling, some political parties leveling, that it is unconstitutional, and they are trying to snatch away the land of the Muslim. Both are untrue. It is constitutional, and it is not for the purpose of snatching the land of the Waqf board, because more than 8,40,000 crore worth of land is already registered. So it is only the pending is 1.2 lakh crore or something.
You are saying
so
that the intent is clear.
Because
this is precisely the charge of the opposition, that the intent is clear, the intent is anti-Muslim. I want to bring in Mr. Silas. He's been listening to this intently. Tushar, I'll come to you. He hasn't spoken. अब विवेक भाई, आप ये देखिए, एसपी लीडर हैं एक मोहिबुल्ला, उन्होंने कहा जो 10 सालों में मुसलमानों के साथ हो रहा है उससे कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि कल से जनता सड़क पर आ जाए। इसका क्या मतलब है, बता दीजिए।
नहीं, पहला तो आपका सवाल यह है कि जिस लीडर की आप बात कर रहे हैं उस लीडर का तो मैंने नाम फिलहाल नहीं सुना है, बट लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग, व्हाट आई वाज लिसनिंग टू द conversation or the debate very attentively. What I could gather is, I think it's just a legal way of the Bharatiya Janata Party to confiscate land. That is all. If you take the example of Ayodhya, what happened to the defense land? Because this matter is quite serious. It was a defense land in November 2023. It was amended and it was given to Baba Ramdev and Adani. It was right there in Ayodhya, very close to the Ram temple. It was a defense land. What has happened to the, we have seen a lot of railway land being confiscated by the government and given to the industrialists. We have seen Nazul lands. Even if you are going to confiscate the land, because of the intention of the Bharatiya Janata Party is absolutely clear. Even if you are going to confiscate the land, I want a guarantee from the Bharatiya Janata Party and the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party that you are not going to sell it to your industrialist friends. That is the thing which the Bharatiya Janata Party is doing, and I feel at the moment the Bharatiya Janata Party is acting like a land mafia, or you can even say they are acting like a real estate company.
Okay, but Vivek bhai, will you answer this question? Has the Waqf board, have you asked them for an undertaking that they will not encroach on land, whether public, private? I mean, Tushar, this is bizarre.
Pranesh, I'm afraid to say this, but this is back to the whole anti-CAA narrative, but on steroids this time. Last time they also said that they are taking your citizenship away. This time they are saying you're taking your land away. आप मुझे एक बात बताइए, आप बिल पढ़िए, बिल में कॉम्पोजिशन के बारे में है वक्फ के, उसके फाइनेंसेस के बारे में है, उसके पूरे सर्वे के बारे में. If they had to confiscate land, why would they go with that bill? Mr. Sarvana said that this is anti-Muslim. Mr. Sarvana, I'm assuming, comes from Tamil Nadu. Pardon me if I'm incorrect. In Tamil Nadu, the Waqf declared a 1500-year-old village as their own property, which had a temple which was 1500 years old. 1500 years old. Now, is he telling me that by omitting Section 40 of the Principal Act, this government is committing an act which is anti-minority or anti-Muslim? I'll tell you the minority angle also, Pranesh, since the opposition was talking about it. In Haryana, in Yamunanagar, a land parcel on which there was a Gurdwara Sahib, the Waqf claimed it. Now, how is it in the interest of minorities if we are not amending this act? Because the opposition made this about Sikhs, Christians, Jains, Buddhists. So people are just trying to go into hyperbole, trying to over-intellectualize this, why they have not read the bill. No one is confiscating the land away. No one is stopping any community from worshipping. Just that some amendments are needed for more representation, more transparency, and most importantly, to ensure that arbitrarily land is not taken away from poor people, as was the case in Tamil Nadu, where Mr. Sarvana comes from.
Lokesh, can you counter that on facts? Dr. Ranganathan, I'm coming to you next. Let's just take a reaction from him.
Pranesh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let me answer this question.
Okay, Mr. Sarvana.
To him.
Okay,
See, yeah.
Lokesh, let Mr. Sarvana take that.
Yes, Mr. Yadav Akhilesh today. Yeah. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav has punctured the sanctimonious lectures given by the BJP why they have brought in this Waqf Act. He says the government has introduced the Waqf bill only to appease some of its dejected, hardcore, fanatic voters who derive pleasure when they see minorities being troubled. Their morale has been low since June 4th. This is
Mr.
what Mr.
Sarvana, this
Yadav
is a great election speech.
1
minute, sir. It's a great election speech.
Exactly sums up.
No, 1 minute.
The BJP is feeling right now. I'm coming to Pranesh, just a moment. I'm coming to what he said, some 1,500 old land has been taken. If there is any dispute, the courts will settle. If there is any dispute between the title of
as the law stands today, sir, you can't go to the courts.
Under our constitution, under our statutes, nobody else, a collector or any other executive cannot decide.
Mr. Sarvanan, sir, you'll have to, I don't think you've understood, or maybe you are deliberately obfuscating. Dr. Ranganathan, that is not correct.
Look, I think Mr. Sarvanan has laid out exactly what we have been saying the opponents of the Waqf Act. Yes, if there is a dispute, the court should settle. Of course they should. Like they do for other religious boards when they decide that which land is theirs or not. That is why nobody's answered this question, why on earth do we need a Waqf Act? Because erstwhile, a property was declared as Waqf property as and when it was deemed to be one by the Waqf board. And then it would go to the tribunal. Tribunal would order a district collector and SP to see who is encroaching on our property. That we have deemed. We need not even inform the person whose property it was. Now I ask you, I have a religion. I form a religious board to decide about sale, purchase, donation of property, right? I declare I am a Hindu or Muslim, Hindu or Christian or let's say, I don't know, atheist, let's say. Okay, the irony of myself calling, it a religion. But I declare, Pranesh, that your Times Now studio is on atheist land. What will happen? You will dispute, right? You will go to the court, which is the law of the land. We are all under IPC sections. Hence the question, why do we need a Waqf Act? Nobody is answering that.
Lokesh has an answer.
Provision of a tribunal comprising of 3 members. The first would be a judicial member to the rank of the district judge. Second would be an administrative officer. And third would be any person who is well versed with the Islamic law. This tribunal.
What's the problem in going to the court?
Yeah.
Just a minute. The code of civil procedure applied to this court. And secondly, a person or an aggrieved could always within 1 year approach this particular tribunal.
But why do you need to wait 1 year? Lokesh Jindal, why the delay?
Now this act has made it 2 years. Now this act, it has
No. The reforms, the reforms allow you to now approach courts. आदिल भाई डॉक्टर रंगनाथन और तुषार ने आपसे एक सीधा सवाल पूछा, कौन सा प्रोविजन है जो एंटी मुस्लिम है, बता दीजिए, फिर डिबेट खत्म करते हैं.
Pranesh, first of all, my dear friend Ranganathan does not know that all these lands, they cannot be transferred, leased out like other commercial land. The entire classification of such land is very different from the ordinary sale and transfer deed that is carried out for other commercial lands. So you cannot treat a Waqf land like that of a commercial land. Secondly, all these lands, they were brought within the purview of the
Which Waqf Act are you? No. I think you've read the different Waqf Act. This is not the Waqf Act.
I'm telling you the truth. It is allowed.
Lokesh, please trust me when I say this. 1 minute. Lokesh, it's okay. It can happen sometimes. Tushar, I think he's got mixed up.
One thing Mr. Sarvana says, he's quoting Akhilesh Yadav, who says this is to appease some dejected Hindus, some dejected fanatic Hindus or supporters of the BJP. Tell me how many supporters DMK has in Tamil Nadu, far more than the BJP now. And we're talking about a village which was taken over by the Waqf in Tamil Nadu. So he's saying all those villagers are dejected fans of the BJP. What is he even talking about? Right. Lokesh is saying there is a dispute, go to the court. Pranesh, I am asking the important question. What is the origin of that dispute? I tomorrow say that the studio you're sitting in is my property. It's a hostile takeover. It's not a dispute. A dispute has a legal basis. It has a transactional basis. What we are calling a dispute is actually a hostile takeover. And that is why doing away with Section 40 of the Principal Act is so important. So what is anti-minority about it? What is fanatic about it? This is one answer I'm not getting neither from Mr. Sarvana.
Adil bhai, you have the last word. 30 seconds, sir. Before we wind up, बता दीजिए.
के जज रहते हैं, वो चीफ जस्टिस अपॉइंट करते हैं, वो लॉ के अधीनस्थ हैं और 1 साल का ग्रेस पीरियड दिया जाता है. कोई भी वक्फ बोर्ड में रजिस्टर्ड होता है, कोई ऑब्जेक्शन है तो वो ऑब्जेक्शन देता है, रेवेन्यू ऑफिसर उसको क्लियर करता है, तब गजेट जारी होता है. ऐसे ही किसी की जमीन को वक्फ बोर्ड नहीं बोल सकता है. एक प्रोसीड्यूर है. सीओ डायरेक्ट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के अंडर में होता है, चेयरमैन लॉ के अंडर में होता है. एवरीबडी वांट्स टू कम अंडर लॉ एम्बिट. ये बीजेपी कंफ्यूजन पैदा करना चाहती है. ये एक सच्चाई है. आप की प्रॉपर्टी खाली करा दीजिए. मुझे आपसे यही मोदी सरकार से मदद चाहिए कि पूरे इंडिया में जितनी वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है उसको खाली करा दीजिए. मैं समझूंगा मोदी सरकार मुसलमानों के लिए कुछ तो कर रही है, लेकिन ये दिल में कुछ और दिमाग में कुछ और जुबान पे कुछ, यही मोदी सरकार की सच्चाई है. आप इंसाफ दीजिए ना मुसलमानों को.
इंसाफ नहीं मिल रहा है. सैयद जफर इस्लाम, लास्ट वर्ड. इंसाफ दीजिए मुसलमानों को.
देखिए, जितना भी अब तक जो मैंने सुना और जो लोग कह रहे हैं, मैं उसको आदिल साहब जो सवाल कर रहे हैं उसका सीधा जवाब है कि आप इस क्लॉज उस पे मत जाइए, एक्ट के इस पे मत जाइए, सिर्फ सीधा जाइए कि मोदी जी का, हमारे प्रधानमंत्री का एक्चुअल इंटेंट क्या है। एक्चुअल इंटेंट एक ही है कि इस जो वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी है उसको मिसयूज हो रहा है, उसको सही से यूज हो, ट्रांसपेरेंसी हो, और उसका बेनिफिशियरी जो होना चाहिए गरीब, उस गरीब मुसलमान को बेनिफिशियरी होना चाहिए, जो मिनिस्टर ने खुद कहा है।
That's right. Parliamentary Affairs Minister ने कहा है land mafia is acting in the name of Waqf. Let's end this right here. I thank all of you gentlemen for joining us on India Front.